Meguiar'S hot rims, wheel, and tire cleaner, or super clean all-purpose cleaner. Which one is a better buy? I don't know. So I wanted to answer that question myself. And so while I was at the auto parts store picking up both these, which these are readily available pretty much everywhere, I had the question to myself of like, which one is actually better? So in this video, we're going to be demoing it out on my wheel and tire to see which one performs better. What are some of the differences? Like, does one foam better? Does one brown the tire better? And ultimately, which one performs better so that you're more informed for your purchases. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is here, and at jimbosdetailing.com, we are offering the Black Friday Cyber Monday kit. You're going to get Tough as Shell, Pure Magic Cleaner, the Super Soaper, the Complete Cabin Cleaner, all dressed up, a massive drying towel, an air freshie, all in a nice box. And for you, because this is kind of like a gift if you want to give it to someone else, for you, either you're gifting yourself, I'm also going to give you a free Jimbo shop tee as well, all for $99 plus free shipping. I'll link it below, but check it out at jimbosdetailing.com. All right, first up is Super Clean. This is a general all-purpose cleaner, and really what it's going to be about is an all-purpose cleaner just as good as a dedicated wheel and tire cleaner. According to the uses, it does work on engines, tools, grills, driveways, outdoor furniture, kitchens, bathrooms, stainless steel, fiberglass, concrete, and many other cleaning uses. Obviously, that is where the APC or all-purpose cleaner comes in. The directions say to avoid damaging surfaces, always pre-test in an inconspicuous area. That is a really good first step. Make sure the surface is as cool as possible. Cover surface with Super Clean in the appropriate strength. So in the it can be diluted, which is a big feature of Super Clean. It's super cheap and it works on a variety of surfaces and can be diluted down. So depending on how you're using Super Clean, wear gloves and eye protection. I would argue that no matter how you're using Super Clean or any of these cleaners, try to use at least gloves, and there's some other warnings as well. But this is a general all-purpose cleaner that claims to be biodegradable. When it comes to the Meguiar'S hot rims, this is also an acidic, I'm sorry, not acidic. It's an alkaline cleaner. Both of these range in the like 14 pH. So they're very alkaline, going to be a little caustic, so it's going to kind of choke you up if you're working in an environment that it's not well ventilated, so I would recommend outside. But the Meguiar'S, though it's a high pH, kind of you could argue that it's a all-purpose cleaner as well. It is a dedicated wheel and tire cleaner. So the formulations usually do include some surfactants or some additional conditioners or things that make it a little bit different than just an all-purpose cleaner. And it says it right there, specifically formulated for OEM clear-coated wheels, powers through brake dust and grime on wheels and tires. So definitely more of a dedicated wheel and tire cleaner. When it comes to the back, you'll actually see the dirt and grime lift off your wheels. I wonder how we'll see that. I'm hoping browning. Specifically formulated to do double duty, power through grime, brake dust on wheels, and deep clean tires. So their extreme cling foam is designed to cling vigorously to vertical surfaces to maximize cleaning. So they do that not through, or the chemical does foam, but they also put a foaming trigger sprayer on this as well. The Super Clean does not have a trigger, foam trigger, but here's what you could do is you could actually just take off a foaming trigger sprayer, and the Super Clean does foam if you care about that. Directions as well, pretty much the same exact. The main thing with that I noticed with the Meguiar'S is that they want no more than 30 seconds. So no more than 30 seconds. So you're going to be doing one wheel at a time, one wheel, one tire at a time with that. And so, yeah, that's just a little bit difference in that from working with a chemist myself. I do know that though the similarities they're very, very close, there are going to be some added things in a dedicated cleaner that just a general all-purpose cleaner doesn't do. So I'm excited to test both these out. Let's take it outside and try it on the tires and rims. All right, first up, we're gonna do Super Clean. These tires are pretty new. I just got them put on the truck, but we've dealt with like almost a week of rain, and so there's plenty of brake dust, plenty of dirt on the tires. So let's see how the Super Clean does. And what I'm looking for is the tire browning, and then obviously how well it cleans. The nice thing about Super Clean is it is dilutable, but I'm using it straight. I'll do the rim as well. I'm gonna do a no touch cleaning here to see how it does. Because obviously if you agitate with brushes and all that kind of stuff, you will get a lot better of a cleaning, but I want to see how good they do just without any agitation. And you can see right away how foaming may be aesthetically nicer. I am getting a little bit of browning up here. Probably if I agitated the tire, I'd get a lot more browning, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's really nothing to say. You could even, while you're here, you could even hit the fender as well. And one thing I would say with Super Clean, at least, probably what I would do if I find this to be kind of the cleaner for me is, one, I would buy it in the gallon concentrated form, and then I'd probably go down to like Home Depot or Amazon, and I would get a garden pump sprayer, and I would pre-dilute the Super Clean in the garden pump sprayer, a foaming pump sprayer. That way you can get that foaming ability, and it would just be much easier to apply to everywhere, and you would get the foam, and it would be a lot more economical than just buying it in like the 32-ounce bottle like I did. So this is starting to dry a little bit, so I want to rinse this, and since the Meguiar's said only to give it no more than 30 seconds, I want to make sure that I'm not giving the Super Clean side more time just because it doesn't have a time restraint on it. So let me rinse this off. And you can see a lot of that browning come off. That's why I said if you have it in a pump sprayer, a foaming pump sprayer, and you buy the gallon form, this could be a really economical way to use it. A nice solid rinse, and we'll let that kind of air dry. One thing that you want to be aware of with any high pH cleaner is that it can start to dry out your plastics. So this fender's all lined with plastics. So repeated use of that, you can get a little bit of drying out of the plastics. If you're using it in other areas of your car, say you have like bug guts on the front and you want bug removal, just be aware that a high pH solution can kind of tiger stripe or dry out your plastics. It can even dry out your tires. So you want to make sure that after both these products can dry out your tires. So after you're done cleaning the tires, you want to make sure that you're redressing them. Something with like an all dressed up, dilutable tire dressing. All right, let's go back to this one, the Meguiar's wheel and tire. This one is foaming, and you'll see how much nicer it is to have the foam because it clings to the tire kind of like it says. It's not the most insane foam, but getting a little bit of browning pretty much instantly right there. And I think that's mainly due to the foam. Now you could do the same thing with this product as well. Put it in a foaming pump sprayer. I feel like we got more product going on the rim and tire than we did with the Super Clean, maybe because of the foam. So maybe you do use a little bit more foam, but you can see how much browning is coming off that tire, and I think that's because of the foam. I do think that the Super Clean would have that same amount of browning if it foamed, which is why I talk about the foaming pump sprayer. That looks pretty good. Pretty interested to see how each one of these tires look after. Obviously, I'm not going to do it in my test because I want to see the raw cleaning power. But if you were to use and agitate with a brush, a big mistake that I see a lot of people do, and I just remembered this said don't wait any more than 30 seconds, so I'm going to rinse it off. But a mistake I see a lot of people do is that they will spray the cleaner on a tire, on a rim, and then they go immediately in with their brushes and agitate, but the thing is you have all that dirt still in there. So if you're gonna go in there and agitate with a brush, what you actually want to do is you want to do the dry foam just like we do on the paint of the car, just like we did here. Dry foam, rinse it completely, and then spray it down a second time with your cleaner or with your foam soap, and then go in with your brushes, and you're going to eliminate scratching and really jacking up your tires. I think this, under the right temperatures, can go way longer than 30 seconds. So you just don't want to let it dry. But look at all that browning. That's really good. Good thorough rinse. I didn't spray it in the wheel and the fenders there with that one, but you could do the same in the fenders as well as with the Super Clean. Let me get the blower out and we will shortcut this drying process a little bit. The downside to this time of year, it stays wet forever. We're gonna have to give it a little bit of time to dry because it's a little bit colder today, but from initial inspection, just right now, I understand it's not all the way dry, but the Meguiar's side is just looking a little bit more dried out to me. It has a little bit more of that dried out look, which you could argue maybe is a cleaner tire. The Super Clean has a little bit more of a consistent black, which could mean that the leftover dressing is still on there. You could argue that maybe the tire isn't all the way clean, or you could also argue that the tire is actually cleaner. Again, kind of semantics, kind of gets into people's preferences and what they think is clean, but visually it's looking like the Meguiar's side. If I were to split hairs, and we really are splitting hairs at this point, the Meguiar's side just looks a little bit more dried out, which could be a good thing, actually. It could just mean that the tire's cleaner. What I want to see is a rim cleaner. So still just a tiny bit of dirt on the Super Clean side, but really not bad for just a single application and not agitating at all. Let's flip to a clean side and see if this Meguiar's side is dirtier. And it does look like the Meguiar's side may be a little bit dirtier, but not much. I mean, they're very, very, very close. So let's let this dry for maybe another few minutes, and then we'll come back and look at it, see if the tire, let me just see if the tire, I'm trying to see if I can pick up any, like if there's still leftover dressing, and that's why the Super Clean side looks a little better. Yeah, there might be a little bit of dressing on the Super Clean side, and that's why it doesn't look as dried out as the Meguiar's side does. What I would say is that the Meguiar's cleaned the tire slightly more, 10%, 15% more. The Super Clean wasn't able to get all that old tire shine off without scrubbing it. Of course, like I said, if we were to scrub these down, you're gonna have such a similar result that it's Doesn't matter, just pick one. So when products for me are this close in results, what I do is I just go with the cheaper one. So the Super Clean is probably gonna be cheaper because you can get it and dilute it. Again, I had to use it at full strength, so that may go and do it too, because there's actual price and then there's use price or use case price, how much it actually costs while you're using the product. And so again, this one is a toss-up for me, but let me know what you thought about one of these. Have you used like Hot Rims or Hot Wheels all the time? Do you use Super Clean for everything? Let me know what you use below. And if you're looking to support the channel, I'll link all my products below over at jimbosdetailing.com. I do have an acid-based wheel cleaner. These are alkaline-based. I do have an acid-based cleaner, wheel and tire cleaner. And so you feel free to check those out if you want to support the channel. But yeah, that's my review on those two products. Thanks for watching. See ya.